The Andy Caldwell Show is sponsored in part by CoLab, the Coalition of Labor, Agriculture, and Business.
You are listening to The Andy Caldwell Show. Andy is a government watchdog and business advocate who's been serving the Central Coast for over 25 years.
I'd like to welcome you back to the show. My guest, Mark McIntire, formerly a Santa Barbara City College philosophy professor. We're not exactly sure, but if I had to bet, he's a victim of the Me Too movement run amok, all having to do with the fact that he invited a prominent lecturer to come to the campus. A chemistry professor brings up a 4-year-old story of sexual assault, harassment, rape against the guy. And it's Mark McIntire loses his job, not the other professor, not the professor that sent out this hit piece. And Mark, one of the things that bugs the heck out of me, this story, is from what I've read, you've gotten charged with harassment for simply making, in essence, poking fun and or ridiculing this group of feminazis at your campus. Those are my words, not yours, that you referred to as a sorority.
Correct. No, you're absolutely correct. But I have some good news for you and your listeners. It is true what you say. 4 female faculty members, including the chemistry chair, that started this whole kerfuffle by sending out the Pearl Harbor early morning email to take down Michael Shermer's colloquium. Four of these professors actually filed Title IX accusations against me not because of any physical thing I did, not touching or raping or kissing or whistling or even glaring. No. They filed Title IX allegations against me because of words like "my dear" and words like "morning after email." By the way, the email actually took place the morning after. But I have some good news for you and your listeners, Andy. And that is that I have been exonerated and acquitted of all Title IX charges as of Monday. There was a campus investigation. I don't know what it cost. We can find out. But there was a campus investigation, which is now concluded, and I have been exonerated from all Title IX accusations by these 4 individuals.
And what about, do they bear any penalty for filing false claims against you?
Well, there's an organization that I have now opened a case with. It's called thefire.org. They're located in Philadelphia, right across the street from Independence Hall. And they specialize in following up on these cases and finding out whether or not there actually was malice aforethought and intent to subvert the provisions of Title IX, because Title IX exists to protect people against rape and harassment, and that's all justifiable. But there are those who will abuse Title IX privileges, and thefire.org is the organization I have partnered up with to follow this up now that I have been acquitted.
We've had them on the show before.
Oh, you have? I didn't know that.
Yeah, in times past. We do quite a few shows on campus stuff and things like that, and so I wish you the best of luck in that. Now, what about Shermer? Shermer was originally going to sue them because he claimed the story was false, including the Napoleon had said that the police investigated and this, that, and the other, and he said no such thing ever happened.
That is correct. You've got the story correct, as usual, Andy. What happened when Napoleon, we're talking about the chemistry department chair, who's the one who sent out the Pearl Harbor email early in the morning, 9 o'clock in the morning before the colloquium that day. In her email, she resurrected a citation from BuzzFeed. She thought that was a reliable news source. Of course, anybody who knows about BuzzFeed knows that it is not a reliable news source. It's certainly not. But anyway, she didn't bother to check to see whether or not it was true or false. She, being a scientist, simply ran with it. And come to find out, there was actually a cabal Patricia Stark, the new president of the Academic Senate, she actually confessed to the Board of Trustees at the recent meeting that there was actually a group along with Dr. Napoleon who were really discussing whether or not they should allow Dr. Shermer to have this colloquium, given these stale accusations that were debunked by Chapman University. So in this email, Dr. Napoleon simply warns women who might be attending the colloquium that night not to be alone with Dr. Shermer, as though he's going to jump out of the bushes and start raping people indiscriminately. And certainly after dark, they should be very, very aware of where Dr. Shermer is. I suppose maybe I should have hired a private investigator or a private security company to follow him around the campus. The absurdity of this entire event, it still baffles me that these individuals actually believed that accusation alone was sufficient to go after somebody, ruin their career, or try to ruin their career, and try to damage them financially, and to discredit them as intellectuals and professional academics. It's amazing.
Well, the bottom line here is, regardless of the circumstances of what happened 4 years ago, between him and what I assume was a colleague, from what I've read, they're basically inferring this guy is an impending rapist.
Yeah.
For that professor to say, don't be alone with him, watch where you're going after dark.
Yeah. Yeah.
That to me, in my opinion, she should have been sanctioned, if not fired, for doing something like that, because I feel like the fact that this guy is a venerated scholar and was coming to be a guest of the college, that she owed some measure of deference and respect. It's one thing to bring up the old story. It's another thing to embellish it. Right.
Well, Dr. Shermer asked for an apology. He didn't get it. He asked it from Dr. Napoleon, the perpetrator of this venomous email that she sent out. He didn't get an apology from her. He asked for an apology from the college, and he didn't get that. So Dr. Shermer, he hired his lawyers to start going legal on this, and he then asked me if I would convey his self-defense document, which I did. I used the same all-campus email that Dr. Napoleon secreted her venom into the college community with this toxic email that she concocted with her group of people. So I did. I simply, with the conveyor belt, and for that touched off the tsunami of emails attacking me for defending Michael Shermer, who was, of course, already convicted in the eyes of these ultra-feminists and social justice warriors.
Well,
so this goes to my allegation that the reason why she was not punished, why Dr. Napoleon was not punished or sanctioned in any sense, is because the academic senate is really in control, is controlled by what I describe, my own words now, is a social justice warrior cabal, a gang, a mafia, a group. And they operate like a mafia. There were 3 different attempts to fire me this year. 3. The first attempt to fire me was I got a call on Friday the 13th of October 2017 from the vice president of HR. Her name is Mona Lisa Hassan, Dr. Hassan, and she said, "Mark, I have bad news for you." I said, "What? What's going on?" Well, your credential, your teaching credential, has gone missing from my files. I said, "Really?" And yeah, your teaching credential, and of course you can't teach without it. I said, "Well, yeah, but certainly I couldn't have been hired without it. So how did it go missing?" "Oh, I don't know how it went missing," she said. "But you, being me, you'll have to fix this." So I did. Within a week, I got a replacement, and I even got the certification for the accreditation. So that was the first inclination that a hit was put out on me by the social justice warrior cabal. And then the second, of course, was my own department chairman, who, in his last evaluation of me, has determined that I will no longer teach philosophy at Santa Barbara City College. And the reason he stated is because somehow I have lost the ability to understand basic philosophical concepts after 23 years here and many other years at other universities and colleges.
Now, is the third one, which one did you win? Was it this whole, because obviously the investigation into the Title IX just got completed, but they announced you were fired before that.
That is correct.
So was it number 2 that got you fired? Number 3, they were just trying to bury you with it?
That's exactly right. Yeah, this was the headshot. The Title IX thing was supposed to be the headshot. Make sure I was dead. Okay, that's the way the mafia works. You know, they put him in a headshot. But it failed. I mean, the first attempt, the missing credential, I got that fixed, and without any help from the HR department. By the way, I want to point that out. And by the way, they never answered 3 important questions about the missing transcript. Number 1, who was looking for the transcript? Number 2, how many other transcripts were found to be missing? And number 3, the basic question: who is